Hi. So one of the things that you're going to need to be able to demonstrate to a high standard and consistently throughout your Part 2 test is using the MSM or mirror signal maneuver routine. However, in the context of the Part 2 test, what they're looking for is for you to sort of expand that acronym to include what we refer to in driver training as the MSPSL routine, which stands for mirrors, signal, position or positioning, speed and look. And then the look part of the MSPSL routine gets expanded as well into what we refer to as an acronym as LADA or LADA, which stands for look, assess, decide and act. So what I'm going to do now is go for a little short drive into my local town, and when I get over there I'll give you a few examples, sort of putting this into practice, and you'll hear me going through my normal commentary, sort of talking you through, if you like, the use of those acronyms, so you can hopefully see it in demonstration, which should then make it quite clear to you how you should use it yourself. Okay, so I'm going to twist the camera around now, and I'll see you again when we get into town. Okay, so now I'm in my local town. Let me just first off demonstrate the simple use of the MSM routine. So coming up to the end of the road, I'm just going to do some left and rights here. So checking mirrors, turning left, centre and left mirror, signal, and then manoeuvre. Okay, so that's a basic left. Let's have a look at a basic right. So just turning from a major road into a minor road. So checking my centre right mirror, putting a signal on or an indicator. And then when it's appropriate, carrying out the manoeuvre. The mirror signal manoeuvre routine also applies to dealing with any other hazard, though it's not just when you're turning left or right. Okay, so yeah, let's have a look at that in a little bit more detail in a moment, hopefully. So here's going to be another straightforward MSM with the right turn, again major to minor, so centre right mirror, right signal, and carrying out the manoeuvre. But here immediately I've got a parked vehicle on my side of the road, so mirrors, I don't need an indicator, but the signal that I'm giving there is the way that I'm angling the car, and then I'm carrying out the manoeuvre, which is coming around the parked car. Okay, obviously the MSM routine would also apply if you were thinking about maybe overtaking a cyclist or another vehicle, or if you were changing from one lane into another, or of course dealing with any other type of hazardous situation. Okay, so now let's have a look at sort of expanding or extending the acronym to MSPSL. Okay, so taking a second road on the left here, so I'm checking my centre and my left mirror, putting the left signal on, positioning myself slightly over to the left, bringing my speed down, looking into the side road I'm about to steer into, and not accelerating until I can see it safe. Okay, going to be going left at a roundabout. So I'm checking my centre and left mirror, putting a left signal on, again positioning myself slightly over to the left, bringing my speed right down, looking at the roundabout to make sure it's going to be safe to drive on, and then completing the whole process. So again I'm going to be turning right just up ahead, so I'm checking my mirrors, putting an indicator or a signal on. I'm taking up a position on the road that sort of makes it obvious that I'm preparing to turn right. I'm bringing my speed right down. I'm looking in the road ahead and also the road I'm about to steer into. I hold back. Oh, the van's letting me go, so it's safe for me to steer across. So we should always use the MSM or MSPSL routine whenever we're thinking about altering our road position and or significantly adjusting the speed of the vehicle. So here, for example, mirrors, signal, position, maintaining speed, looking to make sure it's safe to pull back in. And then finally, we've got, if you like, LADA. So LADA starts with the look or the looking part of the MSPSL routine. So it sort of extends from the end of the MSPSL routine. And as I mentioned earlier, LADA or LADA stands for look, assess, decide, and then act. Okay, so it's putting more emphasis, if you like, on the point where you're about to commit to doing something and you're just making doubly sure that it's going to be safe and that you've sucked in all of that essential information that may be important to you. So again, I'm just going to demonstrate this a few times with junctions, roundabouts, go through the traffic, go through the high street this time as well, because it might be relevant there, I don't know. Okay, so coming up to a roundabout, I'm going to turn right. Okay, so I'm just going to focus on the LADA part of it now, okay? So you can see me going through the rest of the routine. So I'm here, I'm starting to look to the right, I'm assessing the roundabout, there's nothing coming, so my decision is to just drive on, and yeah, that's the act or the action part. Priority system just up ahead, so again, going through the rest of my process, there's absolutely nothing coming, so no real need for me to consider LADA there. I'm going to turn right at the end of the road. Again, going through the rest of the routine. Now let's have a look or focus on the LADA aspect. Okay, so I'm looking into the new road, both left, right, and also ahead. Okay, it's busy at the moment, so I can't pull out. I'm waiting for it to be completely clear. I've now fully assessed, so I can make the decision to pull out safely, which is the action part. I'm going to turn left into the high street. So again, going through the rest of my routine, my hazard routine. Okay, now I'm looking left and right all the way through the high street, okay, because you could get vehicles pulling out, pedestrians crossing, etc, etc. So of course, along with looking, I'm assessing what's happening next. Now I can see the road narrows quite a bit, so there's not room for two vehicles to get through this little narrow gap just ahead. So I've decided not to continue driving at this point. I'm holding well back, keeping everything flowing in the opposite direction, making life easy and safe for myself and safe for those other road users as well. So I'm continuing to assess the situation because I could get pedestrians crossing in front of me, and there are, but now it's clear, so I've taken the decision to move on. It's safe for me to act. So again, I'm looking either side of the road now, looking for any evidence of vehicles about to emerge from parking bays. Also looking for any pedestrians, maybe cyclists as well. I'm going to turn left at the end, so again I've carried out the rest of my routine. Okay, now I'm looking to the right, I'm looking ahead, I'm looking left, I'm checking again. It's not safe for me to go because there's a vehicle coming across the front of me. I've now completed my assessment, or there's a pedestrian that she's crossing as well, so again I'll change my decision, I'll reassess, make sure it's safe, and then I'll take the decision to go. Okay, so as I said, you do need to continuously and consistently demonstrate a high level of use of the MSM, the MSPSL, the LADA routine. You don't need to explain to an examiner what these acronyms mean. They're not going to quiz them or quiz you on them. The questions about them may have come up on your theory test, and you've answered them correctly. So that's irrelevant. But what they do want to see is you using this hazard routine, if you like, consistently well. Now, the one thing that I would say, and I fairly consistently bang on about this when it comes to teaching learners, and I would apply the same principle to yourselves as well, is don't get completely hung up on using this acronym religiously in sequence, because often it doesn't work like that, as hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate to you as I continue driving around. Okay, so let's see if there are any variations on the MSPSL LADA routines. And this is how I would personally drive. I'm not thinking about this acronym as I'm doing it. I'm just doing what feels safe and common sense to me. Okay, so I'm going to turn right at the roundabout. So mirrors, signal, mirrors again, speed, position at the give-way line, stop, reassess, mirrors again, mirrors again, signal, look, assess, mirrors, position and speed, mirrors, signal, mirrors again, mirrors again, assess, decide, go, mirrors, turning right, signal, mirrors, speed, position, look and assess, make a decision to go. Okay, so just whilst I prepare to park up here, hopefully that's been a perfect little demonstration to you, within the last few minutes, as to how, if you just simply follow the MSPSL LADA routine religiously, you always do things in that sequence because you feel like it's essential that you follow things in sequence, then you may not be doing the correct thing when you need to, and that's almost certainly the case. But B, when it comes to teaching students, if you get into a fixed and regimented way of using the MSPSL or the MSM or the LADA routine or any other routine that you come across religiously yourself, then the likelihood is you're going to also insist that your students do it religiously. And what I can tell you is that really makes life very complicated for them. It makes life very challenging for you, and really can get into, in a way, should I say, of their onward going progress and development.